Hello, I'm the Northern Vocal Coach, and welcome back to Now Then. Come on, ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Tongue thrusts.
Hello, and welcome back to another Theatre Thursday. It's been a while since we've had a Theatre Thursday, hasn't it, Beth?
It's been a little while. We've been busy, but we're so glad to be back.
Yes, we've been out and about working, haven't we?
We have. We've been doing our real jobs, our acting jobs. It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad we've been as cautious as we have in the theatre industry. Can't say the same for every industry. Looking at football, but but you know,
Theatre's coming home.
it's coming home. Theatre's coming home. What are we here for today, Christian?
Well, we're here for Theatre Thursday. Today we're going to be reacting to a song from the musical Company by Stephen Sondheim, and it's called The Ladies Who Lunch, and this was performed by Elaine Stritch, who is an amazing actor, amazing performer, just out of this world.
Icon. Absolute icon.
Absolutely, and unfortunately she's not with us anymore, so the industry's lost a legend, and if you don't know her, then I'm excited that we can share her with you.
Absolutely. Just such a pillar of the acting community as well. I'm especially excited because she's such, even though like obviously her singing talent is immense, she approaches a song as an actor. And that's what I think we'll see in the video we're going to watch. But there's something very special about the video we're about to watch, Christian.
What's special about the video we're going to watch, Beth?
Well, this video is not just the song, but it is a documentary of the process of recording the original cast recording, with moments that just make me want to bury myself in, like, get down in the, what am I trying to say?
Get down in it!
Get down in it! With moments that just make me want to
curl up and yeah, honestly, when you're watching it as a performer, you're really thinking, how would I respond in this situation?
With Stephen Sondheim in the recording booth, listening back to Elaine Stritch's performance, and it gets real.
Performing an original cast recording, because I've done it, it's a very interesting experience, because usually you've performed the show on stage, or you've discovered the character in a rehearsal room, and then all of a sudden you're right here next to a microphone trying to find all those things that you found on stage, and it can be really off-putting. Time is money. The people in that room, because it costs money to hire a recording studio, the people in that room are like, deliver, they want you to just deliver and be on the money. And actually, I think sometimes that extra pressure can lead to the performer freaking out. And I think
100%.
That's sort of what we see in this video. We see everybody feeling the pressure.
Because the microphone picks up everything, even the things you don't want it to pick up. Okay. Okay, I'm not ready. Okay, let's watch.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
You just said you're not ready.
The character. Enormous strength. With an enormous...
She's going to eat you.
Beth.
Yes?
I think she's going to eat me. But look at that big open mouth.
I was about to say, there's so much we can say already about her technique.
Rise! Open that mouth, girl.
Drop that jaw.
Drop that jaw. But she's also like spreading and open. And her tongue is back a little bit. I just want to pull her tongue forward.
Would you say that the mask of her face is a little bit constricted?
I think it's because she's opening her mouth so much. And I think she's focusing the sound here. I think she's just pulling that face to just like focus the sound a little bit. Anchor.
Way
There's
anchor.
Anchors ahoy! Come on, Elaine.
Let's
experience this.
The character, Joanne, with enormous strength, with an enormous ability, though she drinks too much, though she has a desperately unhappy marriage, though she has all these jewels and fine clothes, but no life, and self-contempt, and contempt for the other ladies who lunch, she has strength. And if you had used the rehearsal versions, none of that strength would have been displayed.
On the record, and this just doesn't have the tension that it ought to have. It's just flaccid.
It's just flaccid. I couldn't believe I was hearing him. I couldn't believe it. Steve plunged into gloom.
Oh, yeah. Just terrifying. And I'll never forget what Tom Shepard said out loud in that booth that hurt my feelings more than anything.
Okay, once more from the top. Sung, please. What? Sung.
Do it again, Elaine, and this time just sing it.
Right.
And now I know what...
Stop! That's too much. He was too much. He was too much right there. That is not helpful for a performer to hear at that moment in time. Nah.
I mean, that is, I was going to say it's like direct, but it's more than direct. It's
rude.
Harsh. It's rude. I mean, like, this was so many years ago, and obviously they were tired and all wanted to get on with it and like get the song recorded and stuff, and tempers are high. So everything we see in this video, I think, is going to be like, it was one time and place where everyone just got a bit cross.
The process of recording something quite a few years ago was longer, harder, more money.
Yeah, and the fact that everyone has to be there. They had the whole orchestra there paying for their time.
They're paying. Whereas now you can sit in your bedroom and record a song. It was not like this then. You needed everybody there doing their job, and one take cost money. To scrap and redo it again from the top, it's like... And you would usually have to go from the top. You couldn't just like stop halfway through and go, oh, we'll just redo that bar.
Yeah.
You had to go from the beginning again.
And it's... we don't know at what point in the night this is. Like, I don't know what take this is, but
no.
I think this is pretty far on already, because you'd expect, like, the first take, okay, she's warming up into it, and the second take, like, still getting used to it. But then to hear the feedback sung.
Shall we carry on?
Let's carry on.
Once more from the top, please, Elaine. Sung.
And this time just sing it.
Right.
And now I know what, but like I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to do. Oh God, it's sad, sad, sad.
It would put you so in your head.
What is it?
Absolutely.
Stink or something? Or is it just
You're
awful?
talking it too much. You're not singing it.
Well, tell me though. Now I know what to
This
do.
business about like taking my hat off finally and running my hands through my hair. I was so nervous.
Let's do it up the key, and I would just sing the song. I'm trying to get to it.
I understand.
Okay.
Please,
All right.
just the song.
All right. And let's sing it.
And when I get scared, I talk to Steve and try to explain to him what I'm feeling, and my manner comes over like, I'm coming on too strong. And he wrote this, the music and the lyrics, and I shouldn't be coming on strong to him. And I don't mean to do that. I mean to just, I'm having such trouble explaining myself to him that I start getting this, why can't I can't even think of the word. I get, come on too strong. It's almost like I'm saying I know more than he does. And oh my God, it's the furthest thing from my mind.
Then to a fitting, claiming their facts, and looking grim, 'cause they've been sitting, choosing a hat.
Stop screaming! When I screamed at myself, that frightened me more than anything in the documentary, because and it was so good of Penny to get it, because it tells a big story. You don't like yourself.
So now I got good material and I can afford to go backwards. It's not so much that
I'm so angry, and after doing all that and then having it not good was devastating.
Yeah, nobody looks at you.
You could feel her frustration, can't you? And her nerves and anxiety in that situation, and that was just how it was a massive learning curve for her, as you can hear her looking back on the experience, that she learned how she deals with stress.
And this is like absolute goldfish bowl stress. Like you can't leave the situation. You're stuck, and you can't make yourself do what you know you're capable of doing. It's so bizarre. You think, okay, this time I know what I'm doing. I'll just do what I'm good at. I'll just follow my instincts, and then you're still getting negative feedback.
Yeah.
And then you internalize it, and you start negative feedbacking yourself in a really toxic way.
Yeah.
Like I've been a professional actor for 8 years, and the tour I've just done, I came off stage, and some performances I was like, oh, that was so rubbish.
Exactly.
Rubbish. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like that never leaves you. And if you allow it to, it can become really negative self-talk.
It's just saboteur.
We care so much about
that's the thing,
our performance, and like I just wanted to be as good as I knew I could be.
Yeah.
And this is what she's going through, isn't it?
And it just proves like we aren't machines. We will always have a bad day. But that's the thing with live theatre. That's the amazing thing with live theatre. I just really feel for her in this situation. And it's working with Stephen Sondheim, like, who gets that opportunity?
I know. Like we've said, we can totally understand why it's frustrating for him. I think what's really frustrating for a writer is writing something and hearing it in your head the whole time you're writing it, and knowing how you want it done, and then not being the person to bring it to life. So you're finding a conduit to bring your work to life. So you've brought in this amazing performer to bring your work to life, and then they're just not getting it, and how frustrating that must be. So I totally understand why, like, it's such a high stress environment at the moment for everyone, because he's just wanting to hear what he hears in his head. And it's so important for someone as talented as Stephen Sondheim. The work is of such a high level. It has to be right. Exactly,
and every single word is there for a reason. Everything is so detailed and accurate that if you miss a beat, if you miss something, and this is going to be captured on recording, if you miss something on the original cast recording, then you can't.
It's so true. That's where everyone goes to be like, if I want to hear the definitive version of this musical, I want to go to the original cast record. Did you have that experience when you were recording yours, that like this is how a lot of people will experience this show for the first time? So you're wanting to capture like the perfect version of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel, I wanted to personally just capture what I achieved on stage, for people to be able to experience that for years to come. That was my goal. So I approached doing the original cast recording as if I was on stage. I had to put myself in the character in the moment on stage. Every song I did, I had to, even for the song I wore heels for one of the recordings, because I was like, I have to just feel that.
That's so cool. But yeah, actually, that is what it is, isn't it? When you listen to an original cast recording, you want the people listening to have the experience, or a similar experience as much as possible to being in the theatre and watching the show, experiencing the show.
But obviously they don't have the visual, but that's also amazing. I guess it's like reading a book. If they're coming to the sound recording having not seen the show, they can have a different image in their head of what we all look like. And I just wanted to capture all the details that I found on stage. And I recorded the original cast recording quite a long time after I'd done it on stage, so I had to really do a lot of work before I went into the recording studio to find all the things that I found on stage.
It's like a muscle memory, isn't it? You just have to wake it up a bit.
Right, well, let's carry on.
Come on, Elaine, you can do it. I believe in you.
We need a smile on Stephen's face, please.
I know.
No.
Oh boy, that's a really incredible moment.
Yeah.
I can take this all down.
He's just not happy.
See, I'm just proving every point. Wrong!
And of course I'm smoking a nice cigarette, which helps the situation.
Oh, shut up!
Well, actually, shut up, see, is what I say to myself when I hear myself singing. Shut up. Because I know they're right. I know they're right, and I can't do it. And it's breaking my heart, but not my spirit. I'm happy to say I do bounce back with the risk of sounding Amy Simple McPherson. With the grace of God, you pull through these things.
Yeah, of course.
Because you cannot quit. You just can't quit halfway there. You cannot do that. You stop in the middle of something and say, I can't do this, and you will never do it again.
Elaine, you're sounding tired, which is, quite understandable this hour of the morning. I think we're going to lay down an orchestral track. And tomorrow or Tuesday, when we're all a little fresher.
When everybody's sitting there and everybody's so disappointed and they haven't got the recording, and it's just...
I don't know. I can't hear myself.
Because we're all getting kind of punchy.
To be in that dressing room, knowing that they're going to play a track of this song, and I'm not going to sing it. You stay in your dressing room and we'll go to the ball. Oh, God, it was awful.
I know, I felt so...
It was awful.
I felt so bad for you. I was going to go back, and Ricky said, no, leave her alone. She has to figure her way through it.
You bet. And watching myself go out of that studio, I have no idea where I went that night. I don't know whether I went to my apartment or I went to a friend's apartment because I was depressed, or whether I went to P.J. Clark's and really got depressed. I may have gone and lifted a few, who knows? I have no recollection.
Wow.
Another chance to disapprove, another brilliant singer.
But thank God he held out, because he knew
Look at
what
her.
he wanted, and he got it, by hook or by crook.
I have never accused her of deliberately not delivering on that long, long day that this was recorded.
Yeah, I planned it. I planned to nearly die of fatigue, embarrassment, self-esteem. Jesus Christ, sure, we planned the whole thing.
But she didn't have any makeup on, you may have remembered.
Yeah.
And it was 2 a.m. and she was overwrought, who wouldn't be? And the next day or the day after that, she came back and she was made up and coiffed and looked glamorous as hell, as she can.
No. Matinee day made me get hair and makeup before I went to that studio. I thought, oh, isn't that just like Steve Sondheim, that son of a bitch, to make me do this on a matinee day when I got 2 shows. And now in the morning I got to get up, hair and makeup. But now I got hair, makeup, and at the last shot I thought I looked terrific.
Right.
Elaine is a theatrical device, not that she was...
So it was a performance day, so they were doing the show. They might have not been long into the run of it, but they were doing the show. It was a 2-show day. They got her in the morning.
Wow.
She
worked
hard.
As soon as she started singing this time round, you could hear a difference. And
Absolutely.
like the vocal quality was so different. I hate to say this, but it did sound more sung.
And I wonder if maybe, I don't know, obviously because I wasn't there. I wonder if maybe she'd slipped into a few bad habits on stage. Because I think it's easy to pull back too much on stage a little bit sometimes. Maybe she started to speak it a little bit more while performing on stage, and she brought that to the studio, and that's not what they were expecting from her. And then maybe this was a big kick up the bum,
Yeah.
to deliver.
That is such an interesting point, because I can really sort of picture and hear like her on stage and performing this song night after night and getting the laugh, like the audience laughing and responding to the more spoken conversational style.
And that's her sort of like default as a performer.
Yeah.
And it's always worked for her. Maybe this was a realization for her to be like, actually, I can sing, so I should sing.
Yeah.
Because it's a musical.
Yeah.
You can have the balance between the two. Yeah, this was definitely more sung, and it was brilliant.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
There's a bit of vibrato in there, and the tone is so much warmer. And it's interesting what they said about her makeup and sort of the men in the room presuming that she'd come back glamorous to some kind of I'll show them kind of thing. But it was just that she'd been made to get into hair and makeup before the recording session.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, people, and I totally get this, and I think you get it too. That makeup does like make you feel more like better about yourself. People express themselves through makeup. I've actually not worn makeup hardly at all over the last year and a half because of lockdown and everything. So that when I do wear makeup, I'm like, who are you?
Hello.
I put makeup on to record these, and I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
like, she came in looking like the absolute bomb.com, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And she came in. The makeup also helps with the character. You know, if you're playing a character, to have, like I said, to have the heels, like in the show I did, to have the hair and the makeup of the character, yeah, it puts you in that right sort of place. It was so good.
Good for you, Elaine.
And if you haven't watched her do the whole song, go watch it. There are lots of versions.
Yeah.
Live versions and recorded versions, and it's just amazing. We might react to it eventually.
But we just thought this was such a fascinating look into the process of recording a song under the most high stress situation and what goes through a performer's head. I think there's some really and like you said about her watching it back and what a massive learning curve it was for her. There's some really interesting sort of psychological processes that actors and performers go through because it's so personal. And when you're not getting it right, you feel like you're personally deficient
Attacked.
in some way. Yeah, and people are finding faults in you. This is why auditioning is so hard, because people look at you and the way you look and behave, and they decide whether or not you're right. It's such a learning curve to sort of get your head around the fact that, like, it's not about you.
Yeah, exactly. Separate the two.
And you'll be right for something. It's so personal, isn't it? Because
you
we
put
our
yourself
hearts
on the
and
line.
souls into it.
Yeah, you put yourself on the line. We invest so much to be in this industry. You know, we sacrifice a lot to be in this industry.
And it doesn't matter how far you get. Like, you could be in a recording studio with Stephen Sondheim and be performing 2 shows a day in his new show, but you could still treat yourself like that and doubt yourself like that. But then you come back the next day and you're like, shablam.
That was a serious shablam.
Let's treat ourselves
Put
for
up
20
to
more
it.
seconds.
But the simple truth is,
he
wherever
smiled.
Elaine Stritch is, you're likely to come out with something highly theatrical because that's her instinct. But I would say that you would have been hard put to have such a dramatic documentary if it hadn't been for what Elaine did.
That's the thing. A lot of good performers, we are sensitive, emotional, multifaceted, weird beings.
But we are so resilient. I mean, like, she just worked and worked and worked. And then they said, you take a break. They had to tell her, you take a break. It's not like she said, I can't do this, and walked out. It didn't matter how many takes they asked her to do. She was going to do every single one of them.
And because she's the person she is, it made for an amazing, interesting portrayal of that character. And it's like the definitive version of that character.
There's no one like Elaine.
No. And she was still going, like, months before she passed away. Still as fabulous. Another vodka zinger! Oh no, Stinger.
Wearing a hat.
Does anyone still wear a hat? Do they? Me, I do. I'll drink to that.
Sometimes, when it's hot.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another Theatre Thursday. We hope you enjoyed that. It's a little bit of a different review for us. Look after yourselves and welcome back to Now Then. We're going to be doing more reviews now we have a little bit more time. Thank you so much, Beth, for joining me again.
Thank you for having me. I've missed Theatre Thursdays.
Me too. And we can't wait to connect with you all again. So keep singing, keep smiling, and comment below. Follow us on Instagram, just there. And subscribe, and we'll see you all soon.
Subscribe. Bye, everyone!
Bye, everyone! Bye!
Bye! Keep singing, keep smiling, bye!
We said that bit.